Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Let me say this. I'm back, YouTube. Let me say this. I need to apologize for not being on here at 2:30 as I desired. Yesterday, I said that I would try my very best to go live every day for the challenge at 2:30, but things happen, So I'm here now later than expected, and I want to make sure that the people who are signed up for the challenge is a part of the video. Let's see. Have you guys done your homework? I hope you have. I haven't seen any comments except for today. Um, so I did post a thread, and I did that this morning for everybody to utilize so that I can make sure that everybody's doing their homework. Thank God it's not that many people who signed up for the program, or at this point I would be lost in the sauce keeping track of everybody. So here we go. Let me tag the people in. And all right, here we go. So let's get through some housekeeping again today. So first and foremost, make sure you go back. If you have not watched the first video, make sure you go back here on in the group, or within the group, or on our YouTube channel. So make sure that you go back and watch the first video, because the first video is very important. All right, the first video is extremely important, and I don't want you to miss out on any steps that you need to take in order for you to be successful in this challenge. All right, it is possible that you will be able to save $200 in 7 days, but it also depends on your income. Everyone, if you're making like $1,800 a month and most of that is going towards your rent, of course you can't. It's going to be hard to save $200 if when you have other expenses as well, and children. So but if you make way more than that per month, and you with just one income, it's still possible. It's just that you have to, do the budget. So that's what we talked about yesterday: keeping a financial plan, creating a financial plan. And I gave you some really good strategies and some tips on how to do that and be successful, right? Okay, so make sure you go back, watch video one, day one, and do the homework in the challenge. Now, remember, if you do the homework in the challenge, so you could be entered into, you could win the drawing of being able to receive a $25 from me. So make sure you do the homework. Make sure, and if you invite people to the challenge, that also gives you a chance to be a part of the drawing as well. So make sure you do everything that you possibly can so that you can win that money. All right. So I want you to use that money to help boost your savings. Okay. So that is just another way that I'm helping you guys be successful in this challenge. All right. So next thing is what's the next thing? There is a new thread outside of the video that I want you to make sure that you put your homework in that thread. I posted yesterday's late, so I did it this morning. So you can use that thread now. I will do another one as soon as I get off of here. I did not make the graphic yet, but as soon as I get off here, I will make sure that happens, because it's already prepared. All I got to do is just put the tips and the key points in. So use that thread so that I can keep track of who is doing the homework assignments. All right. That's all for our housekeeping. The next thing is I want to say thank you. That's not all. So the next thing is I want to say thank you for participating in the challenge. And I want to say thank you for watching the videos and being consistent with watching the videos. I know that it can be, with the busy life and a busy schedule, it can be time consuming, but I know that you will be successful in this. That's why I wanted to offer this challenge for everybody, because I believe that everybody can save. If you can't save what the most people recommend, you can save at least $10 a month if that's all you can afford. But everybody can save something and put it someplace. So that's why I wanted to hold this challenge, because people say I can't save. It's hard for me to save. But if you just look at the numbers, you will see that if you take some things away or just adjust some things, you can see that you can be successful. You can save money. So today I'm going to talk to you about self-control. Self-control. All right. So today's title, self-control. Do I get it or not? Do I get it or not? So what does self-control mean? It is the ability to control oneself, in part, in particular, one's emotions and desires. All right. So I wanted to give that definition. And the scripture I want to reference today is Galatians 5 and 23. Galatians 5 and 23. When I reference scriptures, I want you to go back and review them and read them for yourself so that you can receive the revelation that God has. All right. So Galatians 20:21. I am going to read the New Living Translation. I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't want any distractions. All right. New Living Translation. And it reads, I have it right here for you so you can read it right there on the screen. Gentleness and self-control. There is no law against these things. So gentleness and self-control, this is the fruit of God's spirit. Fruit of God's spirit, to have self-control. And self-control is not necessarily, just your emotions on whether you get upset about a thing or you're happy about a thing. Self-control is with all aspects of your life. So how does this apply to money? When you are used to doing something a certain way for 10, 25, 10, 20, 40, 50 years, it's a struggle when you've been doing a thing a certain way. It's hard to make changes, adjustments when you've been doing something the same way over and over again for so many years. It is challenging, but people are set in their own ways. Either they don't want to change, or the reason why they don't want to change is because they've been doing it a certain way, even though it's not producing any fruit. They just think, hey, I'm going to do it this way because this is what I feel most comfortable doing. But a lot of people are set in their ways, and a lot of people don't want to change, but they fight because the change is so hard for so many reasons. One, they could be just stubborn. Like I said, I've been doing it a certain way for this long, and I don't want to change. Even though it's not successful, it's not getting you the things that you want. It is not getting the lifestyle that you desire. If they just like, listen, I've been doing it this way, I don't want to change, or I'm too old to change. Just being stubborn, right? Or they have fear that it won't work. And that's very common with anything. Fear that it won't work. What is the outcome going to be, right? We are afraid. And others, they may think about what other people would say if this thing really is a success. What are people going to say if this is a success? What are people going to say about me if I'm making this change? Are they going to think that I'm being extra? Or are they going to think that I am changing? Are they going to start talking bad about me? They worry about it. I know, you may be saying, Clarice, I don't care about what people say about me. But deep down, honestly, if we really think about it, we do care about what people think and say about us, right? That's why our feelings get hurt. So we do care about what people say about us. Give me a second. Honey, yeah. Can you turn that light back on? It's dark. So, but let me ask you, wanting change, but not actually doing anything to change, what you want changed, does that accomplish anything? You could put your answer right in the comments section. There is an old saying, a foolish person does the same thing over and over again that's been failing for I don't know how long and expecting a different result. Now that's just another way of saying reciting a proverb. Proverbs 26:11. It says, "A dog returns to its vomit, so a fool repeats its foolishness." Don't they both sound the same? Well, it's true. Continuing the same spending habits while saying I want a change, while saying I want to change is foolish. You continuing and constantly doing the same thing over and over again. Hey Chastity, continue to do the same things over and over and over again and not expecting any change, but you want quick, fast results. It's crazy. You want the same results. You want a different outcome with the same result. So it's like saying, Clarice, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, but I'm not going to remove my clothes so that I can use the bathroom. Although I mess my clothes up, right? I know this is crazy, a crazy example, but it's the same thing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, I'm gonna mess my clothes up, but I don't want to take my clothes off. So I'm not, but I'm still gonna relieve myself. And then you're wondering why my clothes are still messed up. It's the same exact thing, same exact thing. So if you don't want to change your spending habits, if you want to keep spending and spending and spending and not doing anything to change so that you can have a better outcome, not you don't want to budget, you don't want to stop, going on shopping sprees, you don't want to stop eating out every night, you don't want to stop doing those things, but you want an 800 credit score and you want um money in the bank and you want to buy this big lavish house, but you don't want to do anything to make the changes so that your account reflects what you need it to look like. That's crazy, right? So we typically spend money on things that we don't need because of emotions, right? We spend money on things we don't need because of emotions. We can go shopping when we're happy. We go shopping when we're sad. We can shop or spend. Let's say spend because everybody doesn't shop, but spend sounds a little better, although it's the same thing. So we spend money on when we're happy. We spend money when we're sad. We spend money on for special occasions. We spend money, when there's a sale. Or I love this one. I bought it at the dollar store. I went to the dollar store to buy some things, but I was only supposed to spend about $5, but I ended up spending $50. But it's just a dollar store, so everything that I needed, I didn't need, but it was only $1. We got to be mindful of those kind of spending too, that kind of spending too. And we just spend just because we have it. We have it in the bank. I have the credit, so I can get it. I have the money in the bank, so I can get it. Right? That's what we do. That is what we sometimes do. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It doesn't help us at all. It doesn't help us at all when we spend money in that manner, right? So we got to make some changes. We have to be determined to make some changes. And we have to want to make some changes. So today I'm going to teach you about how to practice self control so that we can make the changes so that we can save that $200 in 7 days. All right. So the first thing I want you to do, all right. The first thing I want you to do is look at that budget that you created. I taught you how to create, or we talked about yesterday, that you created. Someone said that they're using Mint. Congratulations on deciding what kind of system you're going to use so that you can keep your budget. But the thing is, you have to be consistent with it. All right. Be consistent with it. Be consistent with creating that budget and sticking to it. All right. So does and when you looked at that budget, right, does it reflect, does it equal what your account is saying? If it's considerably less, then you probably got to make some changes, some adjustments. Cut back on some things that you don't need, cut back on some things that you're not using. Stop spending uh on things that you don't need to you spend the money on. Just basically just cut back. That is the purpose of the budget, so that you can see the numbers. We keep everything in our heads, right? Yesterday we talked about keeping things in our heads, and it's just spinning around. The I got to pay this bill, I got to pay that bill, but if we don't see how much those things add up, we we think that it's not that much, but every when those things add up, it turns out to be a lot. So look at your budget. When I looked at my budget and I saw that what I was putting out there, right? What I was putting out there was horrible, right? It motivated me. because I was in such bad financial shape. It motivated me that I needed to do better. I had to do better because if I didn't, it was going to be dangerous for myself and my son, right? Two, the next thing I want you to do after you've looked at that budget and you've made the decision to make a change, ask yourself, is it a need or a want? That's supposed to be a question mark. Let's change that to a question mark. That's bothering me. I can't. Determine if it's a need or a want. I want to define those two words. All right. I want to define those two words. Need is a noun and it's something you cannot live without, which is food, clothes, shelter, and insurance. You need insurance, health insurance, life insurance, right? You need health insurance and life insurance, and you need food, you need clothes. You need food to energize your body. You need clothes to keep you protected from the cold. It's snowing here in Delaware, so you are not going to go outside and without any clothes. And shelter to keep you protected from the inclements of the weather, right? So a want is all that other stuff. Then we can interchange a need and a want very easily. And we'll talk about that very soon. So we don't want to worry about neither of those things because God has promised to supply every need, right? In Philippians 4:19, he promised to supply every need. And he also said that I will give you the desires of my heart as long as they are lined up with his will. All right. If you do not, he will bring, your desires do not line up with his will, he will, do some things within your heart so that your desires are lining up with what he provides. All right. We can sometimes turn a want into a need by convincing ourselves, for example, I need something to eat. I need something to eat. But instead of me going out, purchasing something, let's say I have a job, and let's say I'm hungry, it's lunchtime. Instead of me purchasing something for lunch, what can I do instead? I can pack my lunch, right? I can pack my lunch. That need is satisfied without it costing me more money. Whatever I have at home, I've already bought it. So I don't need to add to it because it's already at my home. I don't need to add more money to it because that would take me outside of my budget, right? We got to eat dinner tonight. So instead of me ordering a pizza, I can make a pizza at home or just eat whatever we have in the house, right? So we got to change the way we think and we got to change the way we act, right? We got to change the way we think. We have to change the way we act. And in doing that, stop worrying about the things that we want and the things that we need. The things that we want and the things that we need. God promised, if you believe and you trust in his promises, he promised that he will give us the desires of our heart. And he promised that he would supply every need, but remember, to his riches and glory. So it has to line up with what his will is. All right. It has to line up. So the third thing is, I think this is going to be a quick one. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to put them in the comments. All right. Do not hesitate. Any questions, comments, whatever, put them in the comments section because this is not just about me just talking and teaching. This is all about you learning and putting what I'm teaching you into action. So I want you to understand. I want you to get the revelation. So weigh the pros and cons. All right. So let's say you're out, right? You're out and the intent was to window shop, or maybe you're just out with the girls or the guys, your friends, and y'all are shopping or whatever, and you see something really nice, really nice. And this is just an example, really nice. And you're like, I really want that. I want you to weigh the pros and the cons of that purchase. All right. Go home, wait a day or two. Go home and wait a day or two. If the burning desire to get that thing is still there, go ahead and get it. If you can also, but wait a minute, before I say go ahead and get it, make sure that you think about, does it line up with my budget, right? Is it going to put me further into debt? Do I have to use a credit card to make that purchase? And if I do decide I want to use the credit card because I want to get the points for it, then use the credit card, but make sure you have the cash to pay that credit card off quickly. All right. So you don't want to go into debt making that purchase. All right. But if you answer all these questions and none of these questions say yes, then you can't get it. And what do I mean? If you cannot, if a day or two goes by, you still have the burning desire. You look at your bank account, you have the money to get it, and if you decide to use the credit card, if you decide to use the credit card, but because you want to use the points, you want to get the points, you want the cash back for it, but you can still pay that thing off very quickly within a week or so, less than a month, then go ahead and get it. If it doesn't hurt you financially in any way, then go ahead and get it. All right. So weigh the pros and cons of that purchase. Okay. Number 4, pray about it. Pray about it. Proverbs 3 and 5 says, 3, I'm sorry, 3 and 6, it says, acknowledge God in all your ways. That includes money too, guys. That includes money too. So if God, you ask God, can I get that nice blouse or that pair of sneakers, whatever it is. I don't care what it is, that TV, whatever it is that you like and that you want. If you ask God and ask him, God, can I get that? Is that in your will? Can I have that right now? And he doesn't give you an answer. That's not your okay to go and get the thing. It's not, ladies and gentlemen. I've done it myself. Well, I ain't hear from God, so I must be able to go get it. I even do that kind of stuff with my husband. I'll say, for example, um, uh, can I say this? It's kind of an adult thing. Like I'll ask my husband. Let's say this. I'll ask my husband, honey, can I have a kiss? And we play around a lot. So he'll give me a look like, so if he doesn't give me an answer, I'll go and take the kiss. I don't care. And he said, wait, I didn't tell you yes, and I didn't tell you no. I said, well, you didn't answer. So I thought maybe, that gave me the okay to go and do it. I know that's crazy, but God doesn't act like that. That God does not respond that way. And if it is something that he wants you to have, guess what? God has already told you. Y'all have already had a conversation about that thing that you may want. He's already told you what he's going to do, how he's going to do it. Y'all have already talked about it, and he's already made the provision. So if he wanted you to have it, you've already gotten the answer from him. All right. You've already gotten the answer from him. If he didn't want you to have it, he'll also say, not right now. Sometimes he'll say that. God works differently for everybody, but I know for sure that God wants you to have something, he's already had a talk with you about it, some way, shape, or form. All right. So if you, at that moment, you're out in the store and say, God, can I have this shirt? And he gives you no answer. Now, 9 times out of 10, that God doesn't work like that. Don't get the shirt if you ain't heard his voice, and you know his voice. He said, my people know my voice, and another they will not follow. So if you know his voice and you did not hear the voice of God saying, yeah, go ahead and get it, don't get it. God has other plans for that money, and if he wants you to have it, God will provide it for you. Somebody could pay for it, buy it for you. Things like that happen all the time. But we need to ask God, acknowledge God in all of our ways, including our finances. Most importantly, our finances. All right. So it's not just about just paying your tithes and offering, but acknowledging him, trusting him that, he will give you the desires of your heart. Just be patient with him and talk to him. Keep him in the loop. All right. Today's live is about self-control. And when you have self-control, it requires a lot of discipline, because it's not going to happen overnight. When you're changing habits and you're changing ways and you're changing, you're allowing God to transform you, transform your mind. It's going to take a lot of work. This is not a one and done thing. Right? You're going to have to daily pray about it. You're going to have to pray about it every day. You're going to have to be in constant communication with God with God and yourself on a regular basis, sometimes every minute of every hour. You're going to have to really have a conversation with yourself and with God, because this thing is not going to happen. Like I said, it's not going to happen overnight. All right. So you have to do things like when you wake up in the morning, you pray about your day, pray over your mind, pray over your day, pray over your actions, pray over your steps, pray over your hands, pray over what you see. Ask God to illuminate your mind so that you can have ideas and inventions, right? But it's going to take some time, and you have to be patient with it because it's something we have to relearn. So yesterday I shared with you the beginning of my journey. In the beginning of my journey, I was walking down. I'm not going to go through the whole story again. I was walking down a hall with my resident, and my aha moment was that I was spending $200 a month on breakfast alone, not cooking it at home. I was buying it at $200 per month, a roundabout. It was more than that, but $200 a month. And when I realized how much I was wasting with just breakfast alone, with just breakfast alone, I'm gonna tell you guys, it made me mad. It really did. And I went home, and I told you yesterday, I went home and I immediately made a change. I started with my budget. And when I saw the other things that I was wasting money on, like I told you yesterday, Aflac, I cut things off quickly, right? And then I was wasting money on late fees. I worked hard to stop it, right? I was spending takeout alone over $400 per month, over $400. Now, this back then I wasn't doing this stuff, by hand and on a computer or in an app. I was doing this stuff in my mind, and as I was calculating all these things, I was spending well over $400. But that's a figure that I can come up with by just, remembering what I was doing, right? $400 per month, right? My take home pay was around like $2,000 a month, around then. And can you see how I was behind in everything? Can you see how I was behind in all of my bills? I mean, I was in bad shape. Y'all want to know how bad a shape I was? I was about to lose my apartment. I had no car insurance. I had no food in the refrigerator, and I was embarrassed and ashamed. And I was like, there has to be another way. There has to be another way. This constant battle as a single mom, and I see people making the same amount, if not less than me. They're living better than I am. What am I doing wrong that to the point where I am like so hurt and so it's so much bondage like this? And when he showed me what I was wasting money on, I stopped completely. I stopped completely, cold turkey. Why? Because I needed a change. It wasn't a want, it was a need. I needed a change, and I needed a change now. So instead of buying breakfast every morning before going to work and taking my son to school, I started making my breakfast every morning. And it required me to I prep it the night before because I'm not a morning person. I'm not a early, even now as an entrepreneur, I'd rather stay up late and than to get up early. I'm just not that morning person. And then I had to be to work at 7 a.m. So I was already getting up at 5. It's dark outside. I was not getting up at 4:30 to get ready for work and leave for work. I wasn't doing that. So I prepped the breakfast the night before and I warmed it up the next morning. That's what I did. And I packed my lunch. Whatever was for dinner last night was for breakfast for lunch the next day. And whatever was for dinner, I took out dinner the night before, put it in the refrigerator, and I prepped it for dinner that night. So when I came home from work, it was already ready to just put in the oven or the crock pot. I used the crock pot a lot, and it saved me over $400. Now at that time, I didn't have a second job. I'm not that chick that'll work a second job. I'm not that chick. I can't do it. And some people, I understand. Some people you just have to do it. You have your budget, you're doing everything that you're supposed to do, and you want to pay off some credit cards or some stuff, and you just have to get a second job. I understand that. But me, I wasn't doing it. So that's why I was like, I have to find another way. And that the other way was I had to manage what I was spending. And if credit cards is the reason why you have to get a second job, then I guess what? You're overextending yourself. You're overextending yourself. So let's make a change today. Let's make a change today. I want you to look at your expenses. I want you to look at what you're spending money on. I want you to look at those things. I want you to look at, and by doing that, this is your homework. By looking at what you spent in the last 30 days, go to your online bank statement and highlight everything that you spent, right? Every time you swipe that card, why did you do it? Was it a need or a want? And I want you to, as you after you highlight all those things, I want you to add it all together. Add it all together and look at that number. And I want you to share with me how you felt. I want you to share with me what you thought. I just tell me how you felt. What did that number make you feel like? And put it in the thread, not this one, not the video. Because like I said, I need to help with keeping track of this. So everybody in the challenge, tell me how it makes you feel. And I want you to share, and I want you to tell me what you're going to do to change it. And I want you to take immediate action. Immediate action. All right. Like I told you, I saved $400 in 1 month. Actually, I saved $200 in 1 month because I still had late fees. So I had to catch up on those things. I had to catch up on bills. I had to catch up on my rent. That was most important. I had to catch up on my rent. I had to get, some car insurance because I was driving around without car insurance. I was going to work and I was going to church without car insurance. So I had to make some sacrifices. And I'm not a person that likes to cook every day. I don't like to cook every day. But because it was breaking my pockets and I was almost evicted from my home, I make the sacrifice to cook every day, 2 times a day, not three, 2 times a day. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I do this same process now. Now, my husband, he's always packed his lunch. He's always made his breakfast. So it's never a problem. He is so easygoing. It's ridiculous. It kind of gets on my nerves. Like, come on, do something different. But that part helps out a lot. And I actually learned some of that from him and his practices and his strategies. Right. So I'm the money girl. Right. He allows me to manage our finances. And so you may be asking, Clarice, how to I get my husband to jump on board with this? Clarice, how did I get my wife to jump on board with this? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we can't make our spouses do anything. All right. So don't think that you can, but actions speak louder than words. So if you guys keep everything separate and you're the one that's trying to get everything together, actions speak louder than words, like I said. So show them that, you sit at the table, you pray about your finances and you make the budget and you start seeing, how allow him to see your consistency or allow her to see your consistency. And maybe she'll start jumping on, or maybe he'll start jumping on board. And another thing, how about you, if they need something or they asking for money for something, and don't get mad at them. Don't get mad at them. Just have a talk with them. And just say, listen, this is what I do so that I have money, to do the things that I want to do. I have money to save so I can give this money to you, but I really want you so that we can work together, honey, so that we can work together and build the legacy that we want to leave behind for our children or our nieces and nephews if you don't have any children, the legacy that we can leave behind for them. How about we start doing this together and we can both build together? Communication is everything in all relationships. All right. So, like I said, I was frustrated and disgusted with myself, and I was literally pissed off with me. I was literally pissed off with me because it was ridiculous that I was spending so much money on such little thing. Now, my son, we still like to eat out, but I work it in the budget so that we can do it. So first of all, it's not an everyday thing. It used to be an every weekend thing, but now I'm like, we're trying to do something bigger. So let's cut back on that even more, right? And now that money that I was sitting to the side, it's just growing. It's just growing. So if we do want to eat out, or I'm just too tired to cook on a Saturday, guess what? That money's there so that we can do it, but it's a limit. We only spending $30. We're only going to spend $30. All right. So I want you, like I said, your homework for today is to look at your expenses or all your expenditures for last night. So just go into your online statement, go down the row. If you want, print it out, highlight all those things that you bought that was a want and not a need, and look at the number and decide after you look at that number that if you decide and see that number and you say, I could do better, then do better, right? And stop doing it just cold turkey, right? Just stop doing it cold turkey, just like I did. It's hard. I'm never going to say it's going to be easy. It was hard to have to cook every day. That is brutal. So whatever it is, whether it's a hobby, whether it's just because, whether it was something that you just like to do just because you have it, whether you made the purchase, or whatever that thing that's keeping you in bondage, that's keeping you from saving, make a decision to stop now. Don't wait. Don't wait. You don't have time to wait. All right. And when you see that you have more money growing in that interest, and now if that roof starts leaking, you have the money in the bank to take care of it, right? If your son or daughter needs something for school or wants to do something, you have the money to do it. You don't have to use a credit card. Or if you want to use the credit card because you want the points or you want the cash back, use the credit card. But guess what? It's a different feeling to be able to do it because you have the cash liquid to pay that credit card off immediately. All right. So I encourage you. I'm so excited about the success that you're going to make. I'm excited about that young lady, Shelly. Congratulations on deciding what kind of system you're going to use so that you can keep your budget. Be consistent with it. And, after you start looking at practicing self-control, you guys are going to be so successful. All right. So let me repeat the homework one last time. And let you guys know about the drawing. All right. So look at your online bank statement for the last 30 days and highlight all the purchases that was made. All right. Add them together, and this will show you why your budget and your account does not add up. It's not together. Add up together. All right. To be a part of the drawing, if you're participating in the challenge, you have to look at day one. If you don't look at day one and do the homework in day one, you're not a part of the challenge, and therefore you won't be able to win the $25. All right. I'm not sure how. I'm probably going to Cash App it. If you have Cash App, I hope you have Cash App. If that's what I want to use. In order for you to win. So the drawing will take place on Saturday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you got to respond within 24 hours. And actually by 12 p.m., 11:59 p.m. that day. All right. So if nobody does the homework, nobody gets the $25, and I'll keep it. And that's fine with me. But I want to help you save. I want to help you move forward. So that's why I've added that to the challenge yesterday. All right. So do the homework. I'll have a new thread and I will post it. I will create the graphic and post it in the group right now and tag you all into it. So if you are just starting to watch the video today, hit I'm in, and you want to be a part of the challenge, give me a thumbs up. In the comments. Don't give me a reaction. Give me a thumbs up in the comments, and that will let me know that you're in. But you also have to watch day one video and participate in do the homework from day one. All right. Also invite people to the challenge. So that means invite people to the group. You'll also be able to participate in that too. So that's the two things. I forgot to say that. That's the two things in order for you to be in the drawing. You have to invite people to the group, and you have to invite people to the challenge, and you have to do the homework every day. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2:30. I will be available at 2:30. That is my goal. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, if you are watching the replay, hit hashtag replay, and I will be excited and to see your comments. God bless you guys. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.